A long, long time ago, in a small village called Agbongbon, there lived a man named Baba Sola and his wife, Mama Sola. They were very poor. Their little mud house had no doors, no windows, and when it rained, water would drip from the roof. Every day, Baba Sola would go to the farm, but no crops would grow. Mama Sola sold pepper and tomatoes in the market, but nobody wanted to buy from her. The other market women would laugh and say, "Look at them, poor like church rats." Baba Sola and Mama Sola owed so much money in the market, and they hardly ate good food. Many days they drank gari with no sugar and no milk. But one sunny morning something wonderful happened. Mama Sola had a big belly. She was going to have a baby. The whole village came to see her because she had been barren for many years. Everyone was happy. Even the market women said maybe the child will bring them good luck. And when the day came, not one, but two beautiful baby boys were born. Twins. Twins are special children from heaven, the old women said. The babies were called Taiwo and Kihind, but Baba Sola was not happy. He looked at his tiny babies and frowned. "What is the use of these children if I have no money to feed them?" he grumbled. One night, as the moon shone bright in the sky and crickets sang their song, Baba Sola left his house and walked deep into the forest. He went to meet a wicked native doctor named Agbongbon. "Baba Sola," Agbongbon said, his voice as rough as a lion's growl, "I can make you rich. But you must give me something very dear to you." Baba Sola thought for a while. "I have nothing dear, only my two small babies," he said quietly. Agbongbon smiled, showing his brown teeth. "Good. Bring them to me tonight, and by morning you will wake up rich beyond your dreams." Baba Sola ran home, his heart pounding like talking drums. He looked at Taiwo and Kihind sleeping peacefully in Mama Sola's arms. Should I not? He asked himself, but his greedy heart won. That night, while Mama Sola was fetching water from the stream, Baba Sola carried the babies in an old cloth and hurried to the forest. Agbongbon was waiting by a big tree with a sharp knife. "Place them here," the native doctor ordered. Baba Sola's hands shook as he dropped the babies. They cried, "Where? Where?" but no one came to help them. Just as Agbongbon raised the knife, a bright light filled the forest. The ground shook. The big tree cracked. A voice from the sky shouted, "Stop, Agbongbon! These children carry the king's crown in their heads." Baba Sola fell to the ground, covering his face. Agbongbon's knife broke into two and the babies vanished into thin air. Suddenly, an old man in white appeared. It was the village's ancient spirit, Papa A. "Baba Sola," he said, his voice like thunder, "tomorrow morning the king's messenger would have come to your house. He was going to make you the chief farmer of the land, and your twin sons would one day be kings over this village. But your greed has spoiled your blessing." Upon hearing this, Baba Sola began to cry. "I'm sorry, I didn't know," he said, but it was too late. The old man vanished, and the forest went quiet. Baba Sola sat alone in the middle of the forest, his clothes torn, his heart heavy. "What have I done?" he whispered, his voice shaking. Back in the village, Mama Sola had returned from the stream with her water pot on her head. She went inside the house and called out, "Baba Sola, Baba Sola," but no one answered. She dropped her pot and searched the house. The tiny cloth where the babies slept was empty. Her heart jumped. "Baba Sola, where are my babies?" she cried, running from house to house. The neighbors came out with their lanterns. The market women gathered too. "Maybe he went to the farm," one person said. "Maybe to the stream," another said. But no one could find Baba Sola or the twin babies. As dawn broke and the sky turned orange, a royal messenger dressed in red and gold rode into the village on a tall brown horse. He held a long staff with a bell at the top. "Go, go, Isle," he called. "Hear this message from the king." The villagers gathered around him. The king has sent me to find a man called Baba Sola, whose twin sons are chosen by the gods to be the future rulers of this land. The king wishes to make Baba Sola the head of all farmers and bless his family with riches, lands, and cattle. The people gasped. "And Baba Sola?" the market women shouted. "But we cannot find him," Mama Sola wailed. "And my babies are missing." The messenger's face changed. "This is bad news," he said. "If the twins are not brought before the king before suns today, the blessing will turn to a curse and Baba Sola's name will be wiped from the earth." The villagers searched everywhere, the farms, the stream, the hills, but no one could find Baba Sola. Meanwhile, in the deep forest, Baba Sola was still crying when a small bird with shining feathers flew down and sat beside him. "Twee twee," the bird sang. Then it spoke in a tiny, clear voice. "You did a terrible thing, Baba Sola. But not all hope is lost. There's a way to bring your babies back if you can pass a test before the sun sets." Baba Sola sat up quickly. "I will do anything. Please, tell me." The bird flapped its wings. "Follow me," it said. And so Baba Sola wiped his tears and followed the bird deeper into the dark forest, not knowing what danger or test waited for him ahead. The little bird flew deeper into the forest. The trees were so tall they covered the sun, and the ground was cold and wet. Strange sounds came from the bushes. Frogs croaked, snakes hissed, and owls hooted. But Baba Sola didn't stop. His heart was beating fast. His clothes were dirty. His legs were weak. But he kept walking. After a long while, the bird landed on a big rock in front of a dark cave. "This is the cave of truth," the bird said. "If you want to save your babies and your name, you must go inside. But be careful, you must not tell a lie. And you must not touch anything that does not belong to you." Baba Sola looked at the cave. It was very dark. A cold wind came from inside. He was scared, but he wanted to see his babies again. "I will go," he said. The bird flew away and Baba Sola stepped inside the cave. As soon as he entered, he heard a deep voice. "Who are you and why have you come?" A giant figure appeared, tall as a tree, with eyes like fire and a beard of smoke. It was Papa Ie, the spirit of the land. Baba Sola fell to the ground. "I am Baba Sola," he said in a shaky voice. "I came to save my twin babies. I did a bad thing and I want to make it right." The spirit's eyes grew bigger. "Do you admit that you tried to use your own children for riches?" Baba Sola's mouth became dry. He thought of lying, but he remembered the bird's warning. "Yes," he said, "I did it because I was greedy and foolish. I thought riches were better than my babies. But now I see I was wrong." The ground rumbled. The spirit spoke again. "Because you have spoken the truth, you will be given one last chance, but you must pass one more test." Suddenly, 3 doors appeared in front of him. One was gold, one was silver, and one was made of plain wood. The spirit said, "Behind one of these doors are your babies, sleeping. Behind the other 2 are things you love, riches and fine clothes. You may only open one door. If you choose riches over your babies again, you will lose everything forever." Baba Sola's hand shook. He looked at the gold door. It sparkled. The silver door shone too. The wooden door was ugly and plain. His heart whispered, "Open the gold door," but his mind shouted, "Think, Baba Sola, think." He remembered something his grandmother once told him: good things often hide behind ugly things. So Baba Sola took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and stretched his hand toward the plain wooden door. As he touched it, the door creaked open slowly. He whispered to himself, "Please, let my babies be inside." When the door fully opened, lying on a soft mat made of palm leaves were his twin babies, Taiwo and Kihind, sleeping peacefully. Their tiny chests moved up and down, faces shining like the morning sun. "Aha!" Baba Sola cried as he rushed and gathered them in his arms. "My children, my sons, I am so sorry." As he held them close, the cave began to shake. The walls rumbled. The voice of Papa A filled the cave. You have passed the test, Baba Sola. You chose your blood over riches. A greedy man has turned to a father again. The gold and silver doors melted like hot wax. The fire in Papa A's eyes softened. Now listen, Baba Sola, the spirit continued. Because of your wickedness you will not become rich as you wished. But you shall live, and your children shall grow to be great kings as it was written. Baba Sola wiped his tears. I will never be greedy again. I have learnt my lesson, he promised. Suddenly, a bright light filled the cave. The cave walls opened wide and a soft wind lifted Baba Sola and his babies up into the sky. When they landed, they were back in the village square. The whole village had gathered, still waiting for Baba Sola and the twins. When the people saw him appear from the air with his babies, they screamed, "Ha! He is back! The twins are alive! A miracle!" Mama Sola ran forward, crying and laughing at the same time. My babies, she shouted, carrying them from Baba Sola's hands and kissing their tiny cheeks. The king's messenger bowed. The king awaits you at the palace, he said. Your sons are the chosen ones. Immediately the market women heard this, they knelt. Forgive us, Mama Sola, they begged. We laughed at you when you had nothing. But now we see that God's time is the best. Baba Sola said nothing. He was ashamed of himself but thankful for mercy. As the sun began to set, drums started to beat in the village and the people danced. The twins smiled and a tiny crown of light appeared on their heads. But just as everyone was celebrating, a dark cloud gathered over the forest. The wicked native Dr. Agbongbon was watching from afar, his eyes red with anger. This is not the end, he growled. I will have my revenge. And with that he disappeared into the darkness. Prepare the family, the king's messenger shouted. At sunrise tomorrow we travel to the palace. The king wants to bless these twins himself. Mama Sola held Taiwo and Kihind close. She smiled, but tears still filled her eyes. My babies, you are the joy of my heart, she whispered, kissing them gently. Baba Sola sat in a corner, quiet. Though the people cheered for him, he felt a shadow in his heart. I almost lost you, he said softly to his sons. I was a greedy fool. Meanwhile, far away, in the dark, thick forest, something terrible was happening. The wicked native Dr. Agbongbon sat inside his shrine, his face dark with anger. His one good eye burned like fire. He threw cowries on the ground and read them. The twins escaped me today, he growled. But before the sun rises, one of them will be mine. He took a black calabash, filled it with dark water, and spoke words that made the trees shake. Let a dark shadow follow those children. Let them fall asleep forever before they reach the palace. Suddenly, a black bird with red eyes flew out of the calabash and vanished into the night. Back in the village, the twins started to cry. Wah! Wah! Mama Sola rocked them gently. Shush, my angels, don't cry. Sleep now, we have a big day tomorrow. But as she rocked them, a cold wind blew through the room. The fire in the lamp flickered. The twins' eyes rolled up and their tiny faces turned pale. Mama Sola screamed, Ah, Baba Sola, everybody come. Something is wrong with my children. The villagers rushed in. The babies lay still. An old woman checked them and shook her head. They are under a dark charm, she said. Somebody is trying to steal their souls. Ah, the people shouted. Who can do this kind of wicked thing? Just then, a voice called from outside. Go and find Mama Ireti, the old woman of the hills. She's the only one who can fight dark magic before dawn. The people sent a young boy to run to Mama Ireti's house. Baba Sola fell to his knees. Please, save my children. I will give my own life for them, he cried. Mama Sola wept beside him. Time was running out. And far away in the forest, Agbongbon laughed. Before the cock crows, they will be mine, he said. If you enjoyed this story, then you'll love the next episode dropping on Wednesday. To support this channel, please like this video, tell us what you think about the video, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.